Welcome to the Rachel and Tommy show. We've been talking about this for months.
Years.
We're happy to make it. We got a little delay to the new year, but we want to start this 2024 and share some of our real estate insight, have some fun with you, and just talk life. I mean, life happens to us on a daily basis. I am Rachel Romash-Reese.
I'm Tommy Stanton.
And we are both realtors. Mm-hmm. Make sure I say that correctly and not
owners, realtor.
Yes, we have a lot of moving parts. We're moms and dads of 3. So there's always a lot of chaos between marriage, kids, real estate. So, and I also think, chime in anytime you want.
I mean, you're just wrong. I'm just sitting here for the... You're doing great.
Welcome. Also, I think that, being in real estate, running your own brokerages, being parents, it's hard.
It is.
And I think this also gives us a little therapy session and to remind the listeners, if you're in real estate, you're not alone.
No.
We all go through shit on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. But also it's irritating if you have no kids and no family. When you're like, I'm so busy, I'm so stressed out.
It's you have no
come on.
Literally, even just now, they canceled schools today before this, and I'm like, we got to make it work.
Yeah,
We've already
got
put
sick
it
kids
off.
at home. It's the thing.
2 weeks, and I'm like checking in. Are you okay?
We're doing it.
We made it happen. So it's a lot of moving parts. So I think we'll give the little boring background, how we got started, and give a little intro of who we are, and then we can go from there and have some fun.
Sorry, my phone vibrated.
You're fine. Yeah, we have our phone on silence because our phones are always going off.
Always.
And we were talking about that earlier, so he's always annoyed. It's like, why is your phone on Do Not Disturb?
Every time I send you a text, it's like, Rachel is silenced. So then it says notify anyway, so I have to click the button.
Yeah.
And then it gets real big and shakes, and then it will send to you, and then you'll respond.
And I don't see any
Otherwise,
of that. No.
I'll text you, and then I don't hear for hours.
No.
So every time I'm notify.
No, my phone is always on silent from the time I get up because we were talking about this too. We both have the ADHD tendencies. So literally, if I constantly go back to my phone, I'll get sidetracked. So I literally have to stay on course.
I know. Well, that's so we always laugh about, I have 300 unread text messages.
Drives me freaking insane.
It makes everybody looks at my phone is like, oh my God, I'm panicking. Facebook, all the little red dots, they're all there.
Hate it.
Because I feel like most times when I open the text, I respond in my head and then I move on or something else happens.
You don't though, because we just talked about it in the beginning of the show. I got a logo made. I got our name made.
I don't respond to you physically. I respond to you in my head. I never communicate that out is what I'm saying.
No.
You never.
And I, perfect Rachel, need to be at 0 at all times.
And that gives me anxiety to have
Always.
0. I don't even know how to do that.
I have to literally if I look at my phone, I'm like, 5 text messages. I was like, I got to get back to neutral. Because it's always people are needing things from me. And until I give them everything, I can't rest my mind.
Yeah,
it's exhausting.
Or I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot to respond. And then I have to go back.
And that's another thing too. So if I look at something and I don't respond, if I don't put it on my to-do list, you'll never get a response from me.
That's true.
So I'm
But I feel like a lot of mine are showing time requests.
Yeah.
So I just ignore them.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah, but it takes up storage in your phone.
Does it?
You gotta swipe.
I don't. It's in the cloud or something. It's up there.
You gotta swipe and delete.
And I pay for all this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so that is our introduction.
Welcome.
Here we are. So I think long story short, combined, we've been in real estate for 34 years.
Which is crazy because
I feel old.
I know.
I feel old.
Well, that conversation I had last night with a younger agent who's 22. I mean, I was there one time, and now I feel like, oh God, I'm that older, seasoned.
I'm going to be that agent where they're like, you better update your business card.
Totally, which I have to do. I haven't done.
I did mine last year. It's that is not who's in that picture.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Dyeing my hair, and I was telling Tommy this is a harder year too because I'm going to be turning 40 this year. So
yeah, but like we said, I think 40 is going to be a good year.
I agree, and I've said that since I was a little girl. I do not know why, but I always said the 40s are going to be the best years of my life, and I've already started this year with just if it's not making me happy, I'm not freaking doing it. I put in the grunt work. I've been doing this shit for long enough, and if I'm not happy, I'm not doing it.
Okay, but I've been seeing a lot of TikTok. I love TikTok.
I don't scroll TikTok to this day. I post on it.
Yeah, I know. I love TikTok, and I get stuck in the trap sometimes, especially at night. It's mindless. I can just sit there. And
that's me. Instagram Reels.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, except they're better than Instagram Reels.
I've never scrolled. I honestly don't even know how to scroll on there yet.
I feel like the Reels only magnify your ADHD. Like it
Yeah.
shortens your time span of like concentration. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because they're just like little snippets. Whereas like, I don't know the technology, like how long you can do a TikTok, maybe a minute. I don't know.
I think there's a 10-minute option.
So it could be longer. Okay, so with TikTok, what I like about TikTok is, what was I saying? Why did I get here on TikTok?
You like to
Oh, I
scroll
saw a video and we were talking
the
about
40s.
Yes, but it was talking about like you were talking about like if it doesn't bring you satisfaction or doesn't make you happy, you're not going to do it, right? So I've been seeing a lot of TikToks talking about like your energy and like protecting your energy. And I was like, that it really resonated because I feel like sometimes when you have somebody that is like an energy sucker, you know what I mean? You feel exhausted afterwards, like after talking to them. Like I've talked this person off the cliff, like, no, you need to stay in real estate because you're good. It just takes time, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
You're trying to be the coach, right?
Yes.
And then at the end of it, you're like, I feel depleted. They feel great because they've just gotten all my energy.
Yes, this is so true.
So it's all about like protecting your energy and making sure that you're focusing on the right things.
It's so true.
And you can't like this year, I was telling maybe my assistant, I was telling her like, I'm just letting them. Like if I used to try to control everyone in my whole life and everywhere.
Yep.
Like my kids, you can't wear that. I bought you this. You need to wear that.
Oh
You
my
can't do
God,
this,
you're
right?
speaking to me.
Yeah,
It's
so I'm like, I
literally-
just have to release it because
It's
it only like makes everybody crazy and it makes me crazy.
It's the truth.
And then I feel depleted afterwards,
It's-
like fighting them that they don't want to wear that little tutu or whatever it is.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And
so,
I think especially being a people pleaser, like I've always been a people pleaser. I want everyone happy around me. We own brokerages, so that's an extra element of stress. And everyone has different personalities. So you're constantly, are their needs fed? And you get depleted yourself. How are you going to lead if you're depleted?
I know.
So, and it's exhausting. And like you said, I mean, I had a rough start to this year. It's been a rough few years in real estate. Agents move on, they go to other places, but you put all this energy into people. And then when they don't give it back or they say, F you, I'm out.
Right.
It takes a part of you down. And it's just, you got to guard your energy.
Yeah.
And
I really believe that.
and
now.
your
I mean, like,
mental state,
Yeah.
because this business, I mean, it could freaking chew you up and swallow you whole. And I mean, you could lose yourself real fast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That's what I
there's
tell agents too all the time, like brand new, like you have to turn off your phone at some point.
have to give
You
yourself.
have to be your time,
Yes.
like your family time. You've got to find something that's important to you. Otherwise, the business is running you. You're not running the business.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And another thing is too, I'll see people post and it literally drives my insides crazy because I used to be like this where it's like, I'm working 70 hours a week, 80 hours, and they're glorifying
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, that's not, like, freedom is what you should want and
Right.
strive for. What systems and tools and
Systems and
staff you're
tools.
going to put in place to give yourself freedom so you can be home with your 3 children, making memories and being present.
That's what it's about.
Not I'm
Yeah.
working 80 hours, I'm so great, I'm here on a Sunday and I'm doing this. That's not
I know.
running your own business. I'm not like, wow, I want to be that. Hell no.
No.
Been there, done that, write the
Yeah.
fucking book.
Burned out.
That's not what it's about. It's about finding freedom, it's about finding balance, and it's about, finding inner peace. This business is brutal. And I
Yes.
think now more than ever with all the lawsuits, you got to watch
It's too much.
you
give
have to
us,
watch
yeah.
everything you say, a description in the MLS, like everything.
I know.
Like, my social media admin at the office wanted to post, advertisement for the company. He had a picture of a family. I almost threw up. Don't put a picture of a family because I don't want to say we're only working with families. I mean, every single thing that you do now is, it's just heightened. People want to tear you down. I mean, real estate is hard.
No, I know.
You got to find the balance. I mean, that's the thing. You get into it. You see all of our posts. You see us selling houses. You see us.
Well, it's like everything on social media is fake, right? Like
Exactly.
they're not. If they're like posting like their affection for their significant other and how much they love them, all that, like odds are something's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
something's cooking, like. And I'm sitting there
and
watching.
We've seen it time after time.
Right? Like if you're gonna be dumb enough to post it on social media and share all your
I know.
dirty business, I'm gonna screenshot it and I'm gonna share it to like my top 5 friends and we're gonna talk about it.
I
Like,
know, and that's the problem I tell my kids now with social media.
It goes nowhere. It
You
stays
think you
there.
deleted it and you got it off. Someone screenshotted it. They've already downloaded the
Listen,
video and it's
I
there
know.
forever.
There are some videos that I watch on bad days that I have to remind myself like, it's not that bad. Like, you know what I
That's
mean?
the
Like,
truth.
honestly.
That's the truth. That's the scary part about social media now too. And I tell my agents this too. I was like, if you're having a bad day, you're going through a breakup, call your friend, call a mom, call your best friend. Don't
Do
put that
not
shit
put it on
out
social
there
media. Yeah.
because it just does not shed a good light. I
No.
don't care who knows you, who doesn't know you. Keep it to yourself. Don't talk about politics. Don't
Yeah,
have
don't
opinions.
even do that. Yeah, don't have an opinion.
Just be neutral.
Switzerland. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's
say it all
it.
the time. Switzerland.
Yeah, that's exactly how
Yeah.
you need to be because people could hold it against you.
I know.
I mean, even doing this now, I think
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a sense
We're
of
gonna get some
anxiety.
shit, right?
We don't want to say too much.
I
We don't
know.
want to say the wrong things. But really, I think in all honesty, we want to do this because we get along so well.
Yeah.
We have like this laughing, humorous relationship. Like if I'm down, I called Tommy a few weeks
Totally.
ago and I was like, shit's crumbling. The freaking the wall is coming down. And then he's like, think about the big picture of things.
Yeah.
And then we laugh it off. And
Uh-huh.
it's just, we all go through shit.
Yeah, totally.
In life, not even just in real estate. We all go through
And it's
it.
so funny because like you and I, like I always think back like when we first met, like I don't even think we talked. I think it was all through text.
Yes.
We had one transaction.
Yes.
I don't know what it was about. I might have even said like we're gonna be best friends, and you're like totally.
Literally,
You know, that was it.
It was in Lake Forest, and I remember we closed, and then there was an issue, and you called me, we got a problem, and I was like, oh fuck no. We always got a
Well, we
problem.
worked it out.
We stand in line. I
I
mean,
know.
there's always
Every
a
time I
problem.
call you though lately, you're like, what's wrong?
And I'm that type of
know.
agent too. Like I'm gonna work with you, not against you.
Right.
So like, let's just get it
We're all
done.
doing the same
Like
thing.
I
Let's
want
figure it out.
everyone
Yeah.
happy.
Don't try to like flex and be like,
Oh my God,
soul's
I'm
not gonna do it. Like, come on.
30
let's
years
just-
in the business. Well,
Yeah,
no, we all
I
start
know.
new. We got to help the new agents because
Totally.
we can't knock them if we're not going to help them.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm all about like working together, and I think that's how our relationship was
Yeah.
built. And then we have an association here, and we both were on the board, and we both were presidents of this board, and we put.
But you know what? What's funny is that, so like I'll backtrack because I'm kind of all over the place. So like we have this thing where it's like non-verbal, verbal communication.
drives people crazy.
Oh,
when
it makes
they're
them.
around. Like,
It makes them nervous.
They don't understand it.
No, I just like will look at her and she'll know what I'm thinking. I'll know what she's thinking. It's
Listen.
like we'll start laughing. Maybe we can't
In the
control it, yeah.
boardrooms, if I look at him, I was like, nope, he didn't like that.
Yeah. You didn't look up. They're dead to him. We're not doing it.
I was like, oh, she's gonna get
And
talked to
next.
later.
And they do.
Literally, we always know what each other are thinking.
Yeah, I know. But we're like, no shit. Like we're just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But that's what people say. Oh, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all laughing about? We want to know. I'm like, it wouldn't be funny. It's not funny. I don't know why we're laughing, but it's just
sometimes there's nothing to even explain. We just caught
laugh.
something and
Yeah.
we just laughed.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, we got to do this together because we got to.
But I was like how many years was I on the board before you? Like a good while.
Yeah, over
And so
probably
you
like
were
a
not,
decade.
yeah. So you were not like, so like with this association, there's like a line of succession. You have to kind of like climb this ladder, whatever, to become the president, whatever it is, It's a lot of time, a lot of dedication. It's totally worth it. I think
Yes.
it was a great experience. I made lifelong friends.
Yes.
But we always laughed. I was like, oh, when I'm president, how great would that be if you were my VP? Like,
And I wasn't there.
no,
as
she was
hot.
like brand new on the board, and we were laughing. We're like, yeah, that would never happen.
Never.
And then when I was going to be president, like it just happened. Like all
know.
the things
Wasn't even the
She's
goal.
got
Wasn't even the plan.
bumped forward, and it was like,
And here
great.
I
It was supposed to
am.
be,
But I mean, it was definitely a good experience.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it helped us build these relationships. So I always tell agents to get involved at your associations, build these relationships. It makes transactions during,
much
deals
easier.
so much easier when you know someone's personalities. So many people know my personality now. Yes, I have the resting bitch face.
Totally. Yeah.
But I'm not that person.
I know.
And people get surprised. They're like, oh,
I
I
know.
did not expect that. Like, I like to laugh, which is surprising.
Well, what's funny is like, because I was telling my assistant, we're going to have this podcast, we're going to do it. And I was talking about like, I'm nervous to like show, like to make sure I'm showing like who I really am.
I
Do you know what I
know.
mean?
I
And she
know.
says, because our kids go to the same school and they're in the
Yeah.
same class. And she's like, yeah, I've been to parties where you're just very kind of,
Yeah.
and I find myself like that in settings. Like if I don't know them, I'm not going to 100% be my,
I'm
you know what I'm saying?
Same
Like,
exact way.
like with my friends, yeah, I'm gonna like be like loud and crazy and funny and laughing, and then you bring one new person in, it's gonna be more reserved. I gotta like feel them out, see how it's gonna be.
I
You
have
know
to
what I mean? Like
see
I gotta
exactly
warm
where
up to
I
you.
feel
Yeah.
in this, and
Totally.
I totally understand that. I mean, that's why I don't outside of real estate living here because originally I'm not from the South, guys. I know that might be.
If you didn't know that,
I know that might be surprising. I'm a New York girl in an Alabama world. But my life is so small here where when I go home, like I could feel like myself.
Yeah.
I'm always so happy because I could.
Home is New York? You said?
Yes,
Okay.
home in New York because I could just feel like they know Rachel.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you know Rachel,
Right.
but you were always putting on this front.
Right. And you got to be a little guarded.
You have to be a little
careful.
guarded.
Yeah.
I learned, I mean, it's not even a hard lesson in
Yeah.
business. You just have to be guarded. You can't let all your cards show and you just.
It's
But
hard when you want to. You
It's
know?
hard because I always feel like I'm living two lives.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I always feel like I'm living these two lives. It's the business Rachel and it's Rachel
I know.
Rachel.
I know.
And
My
it's-
kids are always like, you have your real estate voice and you have your real voice, you know?
Totally.
They're like, hi, it's Tommy Stanton. And how can I help you? That's how I talk on the phone. Is what they say. I don't think it's that dramatic, but that's
No.
what...
No, John gets annoyed. He's like, you can't sound that happy all the time around here. I'm like,
Totally,
no,
right.
I have to be on. And that's another thing that's exhausting
I
is
know.
because when you have days, like we're all human. We all are going to wake up and not be in the best of moods. So we don't want to perform. But like when you run a brokerage, run a business, work with clients, no matter how you wake up and feel, you have to be on. And I
you
think
have to
that
make decisions.
and it gets
Yeah.
exhausting because
I
it's
know.
like today my body does not want to do it,
know.
and I'm always pushing. You
We're
have to
always showing
push.
up.
You
You have to.
cannot.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to succeed in real estate. You're not going to succeed as a broker unless you show up. But showing up, there's a price to pay for showing up.
That's right. Absolutely.
And it's exhausting.
Well, it's like when you get home too. It's because it's like when you're at work and when you're like going to appointments and things, you have to be on, like you're saying. You know?
Yes.
And you have the smile and you have to say, hello, how are you? Even though may not even care. You know what I mean? Like,
All the- I mean-
and I have to make a million decisions, right?
Yes.
When I get home, like my wife wants to like have conversations and she wants.
I know.
And I'm like, can you make the
I know.
I can't.
I know.
And see, I really think opposites attract. 'Cause I'm like a
100%.
D and I'm quick and I'm like, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
me
Like, yeah,
too.
right? She has to like plan.
John's
She
too.
needs to talk about every scenario. Should we do that or should we not? Or should
Yep.
we do? I'm like, I don't like. I said yes. Like, let's move past this now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't make any more effing decisions.
Literally.
you know?
That's
Like,
how
yeah.
my husband is too.
And I have no more words to give. I can't smile anymore. I can't talk anymore. Like, can we just sit and quiet? I need to watch my reality TV just for a minute in silence.
That is. Everyone
Yes.
who knows Rachel knows that reality TV, like that is my checkout. Ice
Yeah.
cream, sitting on the couch, reality TV, that is how I check out. We don't do the drinking. We don't go out and party. It literally is reality TV
Yeah.
and ice cream. Like that's
Totally.
my go-to. But it is hard. And I've tried. I mean, it's hard and I think it's still a work in progress. When I get out of that car in my driveway, and there's been times where I just have to sit there and breathe.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't want to bring it into my house.
know.
It's not fair to my kids.
No.
It's not fair to my husband. But I have such a hard time to disconnect from the day. And I mean, you know.
I
mean,
know.
It's
It's even hard to like because I internalize a lot, and then it like builds and it builds and it builds,
Yep.
and then my wife's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nah," you know, and I like snap,
I'm
you know,
the
and it's like,
same way.
and I don't want to, and I don't
I
mean
know.
to, but it's just like it all has to come out, and then I feel good.
And then you feel great.
Everyone else is damaged, and they are.
Traumatized, not just damaged.
Yes.
They're like, what was
Well,
that?
what happened?
And you're
I
like,
feel great. Let's have a
that-
good evening.
Literally, it's the same exact way.
I know. I don't know what
And then
that
I'm like,
is.
oh shit, I went too hard, too fast.
yeah.
That new
I'm like,
employee
my kids
had
are
a
gonna be in like
trauma.
Yeah, they're gonna be
I
in
know.
psychiatric. What do you call that? Therapy. The rest of their
Therapy.
lives. Like my dad, you know.
I know.
It's
So
like
I think having boys, so I have 3 boys, it's a little bit easier. And I think now that they're a little bit older, I have almost 7, 9, and I almost have a teenager. So I'm definitely
That's
getting
wild.
older. So I think that now they could joke about it. Like,
Yeah.
whereas when they were younger, they were like, what the hell is that? Mommy's like losing her shit. Where now they're like, oh, there she
It's a normal
goes.
day.
And I'll
We're
see
gonna
her.
back up.
Yeah. So
We'll
now
catch you
they get
later.
my personality, and I think it makes it easier. And I also joke about it.
Yeah.
So like I acknowledge the craziness, and I think because I joke about the craziness,
That's a good idea.
I
Yeah.
do. I joke about it.
I apologize a lot, so maybe joking.
I
is a
think
little-
no, I think joking is the best thing because then we all joke, we laugh about it. We're like, oh, crazy New York
Mm-hmm.
mom's coming out, and then we let it go. They know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because I don't. I
But see,
try.
So I'm I've got 2 daughters and a son.
Yeah.
So the girls are like, you have to be very
Sensitive. I
fragile
know.
and very.
That's
and
why
I'm
God didn't
not-
give me girls.
Yeah, and I'm not like super like huggy. Like I don't coddle. You know.
See, and I do as a mom, which is so
Yeah,
weird.
I know. I mean, I will like if they. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like and I just am not like a touchy.
Yeah.
Feely
And I'm
person.
and I'm not in light,
Yeah.
but like with my boys, like to a point where like they're uncomfortable and I'm like, well, they're getting to that age.
Right. Yeah. You're smothering me.
I know, but I'm like, you're my babies.
Yeah, I know. But it's like depressing how quick it like.
So depressing.
Like you hear people all the time. Like when I was growing up, oh, just at a blink of an eye and goes so quick, and you're so dramatic, and then like literally it's happening.
I
to me.
know. And then I give that advice to like new parents, like just
Enjoy
enjoy the
it,
moment.
yeah.
Because my husband last night, I was sitting on the couch watching one of my shows. He was texting me videos that he was going through his phone.
And you're like, stop.
We keep
I
doing that
can't.
lately. Like
So does Grace,
all
yeah.
these baby
know.
videos, and I'm like, you see
sad.
their personalities, and it's like, oh my God. I don't miss the baby phase. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I that was
It's
hard.
hard.
It's hard for someone. I think it's different. You're a dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a mom and I'm a working mom. So
Right.
it's like there's extra pressure
and, yeah.
mom guilt. And it's like they want mommy, you know, when they're these babies. They want their mommy. And when mommy's constantly showing houses and moving, it was hard to make it all work.
Oh, I know.
It was
Which is
brutal.
funny because like it's opposite for us. Like my two daughters, they wanted dad. Like that was their first word was daddy. They wanted it. So like I remember like Jetty is my middle child. She would wake up in the middle of the night crying, and if Grace went in there to her, she'd say, "No, not you." You know,
She wants
and Grace was like, "Oh
daddy.
my God," she was like heartbroken. So I would have to go in every night and feed her bottle. Like I was up all night, rock her to sleep, put her back to bed.
That's amazing.
So when we had Temple, Grace was like, "I am making this boy love me,"
And he
is gonna-
probably
Oh,
does.
he is a mama's boy.
I know.
Yes, he has to have
So
mama.
it's the way life goes, because if you see it, and I don't know if how it is in your house, but you know, boy moms, they love their mommy. They want to be with their mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything loves mommy. Where's mommy? But we all know when they get married, I tell them now, it's like, your wife better like me, because
yeah.
I've seen this shit go down. I'm not going to lose you to a girl.
No.
So let's just be real. I tell them up front, she better like me down the road.
Right.
Because they love their mommy now, but once they meet Ms. Reese, I'm not going to be out of the picture. But I already
Right.
told John, we made a pact that we're going to be the cool parents. We're going to
Yeah.
take them on vacations. We're going
Yes.
we're going to spoil them with money, and they'll just want to hang out with us.
That's what we say all the time. We're gonna be like especially when our kids start having kids. We're gonna
know.
be like
Yes.
hands on. Like, can we watch your kids? Can we take them?
I know.
You know.
I
We're gonna
know.
be
I'm very
those
lucky to have
grandparents.
that in my mom too,
Yeah.
because she'll come. I said, you want to go away out of town for a week? We'll come watch the kids, because
Love that.
having those vacations that my mom's allowed me to have all these years.
You need it.
Because there are times I'm like, we need to go away. Do I still like you? I don't know. We
Oh, I
never
know.
talk.
We're
like,
going through that right now. So we have never been away from all three children.
that's crazy to me. There's
I
no
know,
way I couldn't.
Which is crazy to me too, because I'm like, I remember like growing up, like we were getting away, we're gonna have our time.
You
or this.
have
You
to.
just get stuck in the mundane sometimes. I think,
You
and it's
have
like
to.
we're kind of in survival mode because
Yes.
everybody is in every different way,
Absolutely.
and you're tired. You got to make another lunch. I got to make another breakfast, another dinner, another. It's exhausting, right?
Exhausting.
And you just are kind of going through the rhythms, but. For Mardi Gras break, we're gonna drop them off at my sister's house.
Very
My
good.
sister came up with this. She was like, "Why don't you we'll watch your kids. Y'all go away, have like an adult
Absolutely.
time. Then we'll do it." So I'm like, "Why have we not done
You
this
have
before?"
to do that. And where are you going to go?
So we're going somewhere lame. We were gonna
doesn't
go
matter.
to Vegas. I thought, oh, that would be fun.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah.
But Grace, she's a theater teacher here in
Yes.
Orange Beach, so they're having their big production, and so it's like right during the middle of a competition, and then their spring show.
Yeah.
So she can't get away until Saturday morning. So then I'm like, this leaves us no time. So my parents have a house in Hattiesburg, which is only 2
Perfect.
hours from my sister's house in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
So, or else we would go to New Orleans, but it's the middle of Mardi Gras. I'm not
Hell
doing that shit.
to the
I'm
no.
not doing that shit.
I don't want to go to Mobile
But that
right
would be
now.
fun, you
Yeah.
know. But it's Mardi Gras, so I'm like,
Not
nah,
fun,
we'll just go to
crowds.
Hattiesburg. We're gonna do nothing. We're
I
just gonna
love
chill.
that.
Yeah, there's like a couple nice restaurants that we're gonna go
Love
to,
that.
and then like if we want to stay in bed all day, we're gonna stay in bed all day. If we
I
wanna
love
watch movies,
that.
we're gonna watch
Just even
movies,
just
like-
I know you probably don't drink coffee, but like even just
No, I
drinking
do.
drinking coffee in the morning without like I want this, I want
Interruption,
that.
I
The
know.
dog wants to get walked. Like
it's
just
the dog. Oh my god.
literally it's like, all right, everyone's fed, everyone's happy, everyone got their shit.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down and the freaking dog's in my face.
I know.
And I was like, I just can't catch
I
a
know.
break here.
You know, our dog is diabetic. She's 13 years old. She's
Yeah, she's
diabetic.
old.
She's blind, and she's half deaf now.
So the sister's gonna take this dog too?
No, I haven't thought that through yet. But I'm also like, at some point I've got to have the hard conversation.
Well, your parents watch the dog at least.
They used to
Yeah,
before
but-
you have to give her insulin
Yeah,
twice
yeah,
a day.
yeah.
So I may just bring her to Hattiesburg with us. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I
That's
mean, you
easy.
can. Yeah,
She
that's
sleeps
easy.
all day. I mean, she's all,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, at what point does it end?
Of
You know?
course. I mean,
I have a vet
think
appointment this Thursday.
it's sooner than later, unfortunately.
Yes.
Will you get another dog?
Okay, so this is crazy. I'm not a
I
really
can't.
a big animal
I'm
person.
not.
I'm not a big animal person. But like over Christmas, I almost got a puppy.
That's ridiculous.
And then I was like, what the hell am I thinking?
That's the stupidest
You're like
thing.
back in diapers again. I
you
can't
can't
do that again. I
again
can't
because
do
the
that
kids
again.
are getting older. You could go do
I know,
things.
but
with them.
I like have this like my middle child has asked for a puppy like every single year for Christmas. That's what
Okay,
she
well, sometimes
But I'm
Santa
like,
doesn't bring everything.
No, I know. But like nothing would bring me more joy than to see like her face light up and
I know.
have her cry over the puppy or something.
And then
like,
she'll
"My dad's
show no-
winning," and then she like doesn't take care
No
of the dog, and
interest.
I take care of the dog, and it's like what we did with the bunny, you know. And I had to get rid of the freaking bunny.
Oh my
because,
God, our bunny! I know we had a bunny.
We
back
had a
in the
designer
day.
bunny, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like a big fluff white ball. It was like a.
And then they just didn't show interest, and you had to get rid of it.
So we got it for Ollie for her birthday. I don't remember what year it was, maybe 8. We got it for her birthday, and it bit her one time, and she was done. That bunny was dead to her. And then, like, bunnies are gross. Like,
Yeah.
you have to constly change the hay.
Yeah,
you have to change
and
the
they
pee
smell.
pads,
Yeah,
and
the
it smells.
smells.
Yeah, it like chewed up my baseboards, and like when you start messing with my house, like my family, my money, my kids, my house, like we're done. Like
Yeah.
we've got to find a new home for this bunny.
The bunny.
Which it went to a sweet little boy that like loved it. And,
Awesome.
like, yeah, so it was like a good thing. But but the funny thing was, it was for my oldest. No one else had interest in it ever, but like the middle one cried for days. Like, my bunny. I was like, wasn't even your bunny. You never even touched it.
Oh my
Like, you never played with the
gosh.
bunny. You never fed the bunny.
No.
Anyway, I
After
digress.
after this dog that we have, who I do love. I mean, she loves me. I'm done.
Yeah.
Because then by the time the boys
You
are
get
going to
freedom, you know?
That's
It's like-
and I think that's the narrative that I'm looking for entering in this decade of 40s. I just want freedom. However that looks, whatever that is, cut people out of the life, add people in that's going to help. I just want freedom.
Yeah.
I want peace.
Okay, so what is one thing that people like if you watch this podcast ever, if you tune in, what's one thing that would shock someone to know about you?
To shock someone.
Or they'd be surprised by, maybe not shocked, maybe just surprised.
God, that's a good question. Well, I think I gave it away with how I behave at home with my reality TV, my hoodies
Yeah.
and sweats.
Yeah.
What else would they be surprised about? I have a little bit of OCD tendencies, and it's getting a little bit worse as I get older, I've noticed. And
Why is that?
if the pillow is crooked when I leave, I gotta, like, if I'm in the garage and
But
literally,
that's like on another level.
yeah,
Like,
it's starting to. The older I'm getting, and I don't know what this is about, so I'll bring it up in therapy when we go back. But literally, like, it's annoying because, like, if I see like the pillow or the blanket on the couch, like a little
not the right
off,
way, yeah.
I can't get in my car. I literally will backtrack, and I'm in my head. I'm like, this is so stupid. Why are you doing it? But in my head,
Do you think it's OCD or do you think it's anxiety?
it's probably anxiety
I think it's
because
anxiety.
you know me, and I think anxiety is the narrative in my life.
Yeah, same.
And
Because mine's like, what will set me off?
But the
Like,
other day, I don't know where it was on TV or someone said that ADHD in adults is really like a symptom of ADHD in adults is anxiety.
Oh.
And I was
that would
like,
make
well, that
sense.
makes total sense then
Yeah.
because we were talking earlier about we have these ADHD tendencies, but also it comes
Mine
with
aren't
anxi-
tendencies.
But
Mine
you're
is,
not as
uh,
anxious as me. I mean, we've traveled together
Yeah.
for stuff. You know me. We go to the 20th floor in a building
She's
for
hyperventilating.
a meeting, and if I feel a sense of like my vision's a little blurred or this, like literally, I'm like, I gotta go. Like
And she's out. Abort mission. She's done.
and I don't know. I always think I feel like I've always been an anxious person. I remember when I was younger, if I got below like a 90, I would cry. Like I've always had this perfectionist anxiety thing
I
going.
didn't have that. Yeah.
But I keep saying after my third child, it went to a whole new level. And I mean, we're 7 years in.
Yeah.
Tried the medication. I will not knock the medication. It worked. It was great.
Like what? Like Adderall or?
No,
what?
it was,
anxiety medicine. I
Yeah,
guess.
anxiety medication. I forgot what I took, but I took it. It worked great. I was on it for 2 years, but I lost my drive.
Oh yeah.
And I just felt very like, whatever.
So
And
what's something natural you could take then? I wonder.
so exercise
Working
definitely
out, yeah.
helps. So, and that's what John says because I'm always like, I'm done. Like I'll come home and be like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. Like I'm done. He's like, well, what are you going to do with your time? And I'm like, exercise.
Question mark.
Exercise, take my ice baths that I'm into now.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's going, I
Okay,
literally,
that's like a big fad though right now. I'm seeing everybody do that.
yes,
What-
and I think I'm always into like challenging myself, and I
Yeah.
hate the cold. From New York, like the cold is freaking brutal.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to do this. And everyone's like, well, what is the health benefit? Why are you doing this? And I was like, because they say it's good for you.
Right, I don't know.
So,
But like you feel like when I know, like I love the summertime because I love take outdoor showers.
yes, that's going to be
and
nice.
they're cold. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I'm like, I always feel good after a cold shower.
Yes.
It's like something that does to your skin. Or, I don't know.
Absolutely.
So I could see that.
So, and it does work. So, like, I go to that F45 gym.
Yeah.
I didn't go, I probably stopped. I was going for like 2 years straight, and then I stopped because it's a hard workout. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally so demanding on your body. So I went back to it, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be so sore. Like, literally, you cannot, like, go pee on the
Right.
toilet. Like,
No,
your
I
legs
know.
hurt so
Mhm.
bad. So I went to the gym, and then I did the ice bath. I wasn't sore the next day. And I was like,
That's
this
interesting.
works. And then
Yeah.
every time now, after I go to F45, I get in the ice bath. I listen to my Jay Shetty because, I love my Jay Shetty. Shout out Jay Shetty.
Who's Jay Shetty?
Come on.
No.
The NAR we went to when he was a speaker. He does like motivational speaking.
Which one was that? Was it the coach guy?
He was a coach, yes. You don't remember?
I
Jay
think
Sh-
I left that.
I
session
don't think you
early.
were there. It was in the morning.
Oh, I
I
didn't-
don't
I
think
don't-
you went.
yeah.
All right. Well, I fell in love with
So,
him.
like used to, I had to feel like I had to get there like at 7:00. Like I had to be. I'd like sleep in now. I'm like,
See, and
eh.
I'm not
when
like
we go to those
that.
conferences, I'm like, I'm gonna miss that session. I'm gonna go to that session.
No, and I want to be more like that because I'm like, I show up to everything.
I
It's
know.
freaking
But
exhausting.
I'm like, this is my time to like.
I
I'm gonna go to
know.
all these other meetings all day
I
long.
know.
I don't want to burn myself out during the
I
day.
know. And we're talking about the NAR conference. So every year, in the realtor industry, we have like this one major conference for NAR, and it's usually like in California. It's at like a nice major
it's
city.
fun.
And they put on all these courses. You show
They
up
have
at these
great
times.
courses.
But I'm always like, yep, 8 a.m., here I am. And it's
I know.
sometimes I
It's
don't
hard.
want to.
I know. But I will say, like, so, 19 months ago, I stopped drinking.
Yes.
And
yeah.
you were like right there. So you're what,
Yes.
like 17, 18
Yes.
months? How long? Do you even know?
Probably, yeah.
We didn't even know. This was so funny. Like, I just made a conscious decision. Like, I'm going to stop drinking. I don't understand the benefits. Like, I'm not happy after I
Yeah.
drink. I'm tired the next day or trying to recover the whole day.
And that's what a lot of these real estate conferences are geared towards
Yeah.
too. It's
Yeah.
like one big. So it's funny because you go to the conferences and like the first day everyone's there. Like you can't find a seat.
Right.
You can't. Then the next
Day
day at 8
2,
a.m. No one's
front
there.
row, baby. You want to be on the front row? You
No
got
one's
it.
there.
Yeah.
So I think that, and I think it also. I mean, drinking definitely. I mean, people drink. It helps with anxiety. It helps to check out. I mean,
Well, and it's
it
fun. and
temporarily
it loosens you
takes
up and-
away
yeah.
what you're feeling, but in the long run, I mean, I need all the energy I can
I know.
have. Like I need to be on.
Listen, we had some good times though. Like,
Yeah.
there were some funny memories we had when we were drinking. But like, I'm also like, I can have those same opportunities and memories and have a good time without
Absolutely.
the alcohol.
Absolutely.
And there's like a big drive right now. I'm seeing
With-
sober living.
Yes, Heineken
Everywhere.
Zeros are great. Heineken.
But there's like a whole section
Yeah.
now. Like, so I could not find the Heineken Zeros anywhere because
Publix.
now I know because they're not with Heineken. They're like a whole section
okay.
of sober.
Okay, so they have a,
What
and
a
I saw
mocktail.
the Trulio or the
Yeah.
White
White
Claws. Now they
and
have
Corona
alcohol
Light,
free.
like all of them.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with someone the other day, and they were telling me how there was like a big survey or a poll. There was like a huge movement in realtors that was like it was like 40% had said they stopped drinking. Like it was a big number.
Yeah, I
And
think-
they said they struggle. The only time they struggle is going to like a realtor event
Absolutely.
because we put so much focus on it. I think.
Yes.
And it's fun.
Well-
and like, here's a free drink ticket, and here's it's like a social thing.
But you also build these like so many. I think agents like because you network. So I think the big thing at all these large conferences is like networking, and I
Yeah.
think alcohol plays a huge part of that. Well, when you take the alcohol out of it, you really don't want to be at the bar networking
I
with
know.
people. You want to be in your room reading a
Right.
book or checking out and doing your own thing.
or more one-on-one conversation somewhere.
Exactly.
more
And I
intimate.
think it's hard too because if you go to things and you're drinking and it's always the narrative's always drinking and that's the common ground, well that's what you always know. You don't know how to do anything different. That's
Yeah.
why you got to just, change your routine up.
Oh, I know.
But not drinking has I mean that I do feel like a lot of my success comes from not drinking and having the extra energy.
Yeah.
I could answer people faster. I have a clearer mind. I could get a lot more accomplished in
I
a
don't
day.
miss it at all.
No.
That's the weird thing.
No.
Like I thought, my first thing was, I wonder if I could like be in a social environment, like a party, and not drink.
Yeah.
And what's that like?
Totally fine.
And so I hosted a party at my house. Have I told you that story? I've told you that story, right?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
hosted a party at my
Oh,
house.
God,
This is
yeah,
a
yeah.
horrible story. And I'm not going to tell all of it. But So I hosted a party, and I don't know why. I sometimes I make plans and I tell Grace, and then it's like they don't all click. And anyway, she was not here. She was not even here when I had this party.
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
was me and like my youngest, and then like all my friends were
Yeah.
there. And so we had like this big. So shout out to my twin friends that are in Foley.
Shout out, Foley Foley, Alabama friends, shout out.
They own Bayou Cora.
I shout out
They
Jay
do.
Shetty and he shouts out Foley, Alabama. We're
Shut
on
up.
the same page.
I don't even know who that is, right? So anyway, they have this heirloom grits that they make. It's like these special kind of grits. So they came over. We did shrimp and grits, and it was like all different kinds of shrimp and grits. Like one was Cajun, one was like buffalo, one I don't
Yeah.
pepper. Anyway, I don't know. I digress. ADD. So
Land the plane. That's what we always say.
land the fucking plane. Long story short is that everyone thought I was drinking at that party after it was over. And I was like, I did not have one drink.
Because
Yes,
you were just like
drunk.
laughing and
Because I was just myself. You know,
Yeah.
like it's my friend group that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
But also like I didn't have to prove anything to anybody.
absolutely.
And I was also pouring all their drinks, getting them drunk.
Well, and it is nice now when you go and you sit back and you're like, oh, I'll just watch you do
It's
your
entertaining.
thing.
I'm like, I
And-
was that embarrassing at one point.
And then
know?
you see them the next day and you're like, that does not feel good. And the older you get, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it is
harder
just
recovery, you know?
it's just not it's not worth it. And I think also when you have kids, I don't want, during holidays, never. We don't drink during the holidays. And I'm not against anyone that does. It just
No,
doesn't fit
yeah.
into our lifestyle. And
Right.
it's not what I want my kids to see, that holiday events is a big drinking party.
I
I
know.
don't want them to see that. That's just how I feel to
Yeah.
raise.
Well, and I grew up in a household my parents never drank.
Exactly.
I didn't see my parents drink until I was probably 16.
I think until after we left the house
Yeah.
is when they started having, their happy hour.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Great.
You've done your
it.
job.
Yeah. You deserve
That
it.
now
Yeah.
do you.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I think when you have young kids, and I also, it's just, I mean, we all know there's so many negative things
I
that come
know.
with alcohol.
Yeah.
You're overly upset, then your kids see you upset. You could do without it. And I want to be present with my children. Like,
Oh,
I don't want to
100%.
forget anything.
I know.
I want them to see mommy all the time. I want to feel good. I want to wake up. I want to have the energy. I want to cook you breakfast.
I know.
I mean, my happiest times is like on the weekends. I could cook you a nice breakfast. I'll even take like pictures.
Oh, but that's every morning for me though. Like my kids
Yeah.
want a hot breakfast every morning.
See,
But I have joy doing that. Like,
Yes.
Even though it may not look like it's joy because I'm tired.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
whatever. Like I have to hear somebody fussing about they can't find their sock or whatever. I'm like, you should have laid
Absolutely.
it out last night like I told you to.
Absolutely.
But like that's like I guess my love language is like I
Of
like to cook for them,
course.
and so every morning I make sure they have a nice warm breakfast.
Exactly. To start their
Because
day.
I mean, my kids could never eat cereal. I mean,
See, my middle son, he likes cereal. I was a cereal eater.
Me
I don't know
too.
what it is. I
Cereal,
like cereal,
Pop-Tart,
read
whatever.
the back of the
Yeah.
box, play the
Find
game.
the toy, whatever.
That's
it
what I
is.
did when I was
Yes.
younger. But
Mine
no.
are like cereal. I'm like, yeah, it's cereal. You can have
Yeah.
cereal today.
No.
Give Dad a day off, morning off, whatever. But
So then do you pack the lunches too?
no, so Grace does that. So
Okay.
also like, this year has been tough with the school lunches. Because it's been great because with Temple, now that he's at the same school with the kids, we don't have to do all the lunches all the time. We have
Yes.
to make his every day. But
Yes.
I'm like, who's making this fucking lunch schedule?
Yes.
Like, what child is gonna eat? I mean, like some of the food. I'm
I
like,
don't even look at it.
oh, so you just send them like go eat?
No,
Oh.
only one wants lunch, and then
Okay.
the other two I have to
My
pack.
youngest, it brings him joy to eat at
The school.
Oh yeah,
That
he
was my
wants to eat
youngest.
at school.
So does mine. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I've never had. I was like, I told my middle child, I was like, can you just do what Bentley does? Because it's easier
yeah,
for me if
I
you
tell
eat
mine
at
all the time.
school.
My middle one doesn't eat at all,
Yeah.
so I could literally pack her like a bag of chips or like she doesn't eat.
Yes.
And I make really good meals, like especially dinner.
That's good for
I
you.
tell Grace, I'm like,
I don't cook.
I know Grace and I all the time, like we're sitting down, like this is like a well balanced, like rainbow meal. It's got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. It's got all the colors in it. It's good. It's healthy.
They won't eat
They
it.
won't eat it.
No.
And I don't cook them anything else either. I'm like,
See,
but
I
the
know.
one that doesn't eat, I have to give her something because her
Always.
blood sugar.
That's yeah.
When she starts falling
Is
on the
that your
floor crying-
oldest?
No, my oldest is a good eater. She's
Okay,
a
see,
pretty
my
good
oldest
eater.
is not.
My middle is not.
My
And
middle
she
will eat
is
everything.
like just skin and bone, like nothing,
Yes.
you know. But like when she falls on the floor crying, I'm like, okay, she's hungry. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, we always joke because I showed him those Snicker commercials. That's like, you're not yourself when you're hungry. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And it's like Aretha Franklin. She's like, oh, you know how you feel when you're hungry. And she's like hitting him, you know, do you feel that? You know, and then she takes a bite and it's like back to a regular dude, you know.
That's me.
So I like tell them all the time, you're not, and I'm the same way too. I
If I get hangry, I literally am like,
Watch out.
John, you got
You better
10
back
minutes.
the fuck
That
up.
food better be ready.
Yes, I know. So anyway, the other night she's like crying on the floor. I just literally made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I took it to her in her room, which we don't eat only at the table, but
That's
I took
good
it to her
too.
room, closed the door, walked out. Literally 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, she comes in. She's like, I'm like, what?
It makes a big
It's
difference.
literally she's just hungry
I know.
and she just doesn't.
It makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I always have like my snack bars on me at all times.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know how I get if I don't eat.
I tell you, back up, honestly. And my
Ser-
mom's the same way too. Like you get both of us in a room and we haven't eaten, you
I
better
know.
back up.
It's horrible.
Because we will chew you up and spit you out, like literally.
But yeah, I'm definitely not a cook. I have no passion for it. That's not something I'm adding to my to-do list ever.
Don't. You
I'm
don't
good
wanna
with
do it,
Fresh
don't do it.
Market. Like I like to get their meats, the proteins.
Okay, Grace
their-
is the same way. She loves that. And
I'm
like,
all about Fresh Market. Do you have a Fresh
wait, what is
Market
Fresh
down
Market?
here? We
No,
have
I'm
it in
talking about
Daphne.
HelloFresh. That's what I'm
Oh
talking about.
yeah, no, I don't.
I don't
like
find
that.
any joy in that. She likes them. I'm like, okay, you do it. I'm not doing that. I like to like actually.
Yeah, luckily
No,
John's
we
a good
need
cook.
a Fresh Market here. We don't have one.
Yeah, Fresh Market's very good. Whole Foods in New York. Like
Yeah.
I loved a Whole Foods.
Birmingham, where Grace is from, they have Whole Foods. I'm
Yeah.
like, why do we not have these things here? Why don't we have even like
think
for
we'll
us, like Sam's
start
Club and
to.
Costco? I really feel like Foley needs a Costco or
Yeah.
a Sam's Club or like one of these.
I agree.
Whole Foods,
I
something.
agree. And
We have Publix.
Just so you know where we're located, because I don't think South Alabama, Baldwin County. So we got the Orange
Yeah.
Beach Vacation Market. I'm at the Eastern Shore, more of the Fairhope Daphne Market.
Which Alabama has a beach.
We do have a beach, and that was one of the things. So, you know, I'm from New York, and I moved here 13 years ago, and that was one of the things I told them, my friends, was like, they have a beach. They're like, Alabama has the beach?
Nobody knows.
It's not on anyone's radar. I think
know.
more so now,
Now, yeah.
but growing up,
Best kept secret.
Alabama is like a foreign country.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that is not we go to South Florida, and that's literally how I got
Yeah.
here. I left New York, went to South Florida, got
Made
to
a drive.
Alabama.
I know. I always tell people we do have our teeth. We don't all live in trailers.
Yes.
And we do have a beach. Like they think Alabama's like no teeth, live in a
Yes.
trailer park. I'm like, there's literally no trailers near. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. And
Not that
overalls,
it's bad. I don't-
No,
you know, but-
and overalls. Like I always
we're not married to our cousin.
picture
I've never
men
dated
in
a cousin.
overalls. But if you go to North Alabama, it's a little bit of a different
It is a
world.
different story. Mhm.
It is. It's a little bit different.
Meth Mountain.
And I think because so many people, I don't want to use that word. It's
And moving on. So this episode 1, is sponsored by Zillow.
one day.
Thank you,
one
Zillow. You know, when
day.
I go out of town, Rachel, the first thing I do is I open up my browser
All the time.
and I look at Zillow.
All the time.
I mean, honestly, and realtors hate Zillow, and I don't know why. It's user friendly.
Listen.
It's so easy to navigate.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fool with RPR and NPR, whatever these things apps are. I like Zillow.
And
Give
that's
me
why
my Zillow.
buyers like it. That's why consumers
Yeah.
like it. So back when I got started 13 years ago, you know, when I moved here, I was from a previous relationship, had a baby, got divorced, single mom, and I decided to stay in Alabama. Like literally no friends, no family, no sphere. I stayed. So I had to figure out, I got into real estate in New York, got my license here, and I was like, how am I going to meet people? How am I going to find clients? And Zillow was one of my first lead sources.
Yeah.
Before Zillow was Zillow.
Right.
You literally could buy
You got in on the good
literally
time. Yeah.
I think it was like $200-$300 for the Daphne zip code, which now it's like $8,000.
Crazy.
And those clients that I sold from those Zillow leads, I still
Clients for life,
stay in touch with. I still work with them. I mean, it's all about repeat business. So no, I don't knock Zillow. I've
No.
always had a great relationship with Zillow. Where
And they throw the best parties.
Okay, yeah. So we've always
We always.
they giveaways, like they have these awesome bags one year.
Yes.
Loved the bag. I think
The
that was in
lobster,
Washington.
the lobster rolls,
Yes,
they had
that
a
was
whole
in
lobster
Washington
party,
for
yeah.
mid-year. That was like the best. And our rep here were like, we love your
So
Zillow
we got a new association executive at our Baltimore Realtors Association, and she did not have Zillow
Yeah.
on our events, like what we're doing. And Rachel and I were like, we don't miss Zillow parties.
No.
We're going to go to Zillow parties.
We
That's what
always they have the best
The best
giveaways, the best party. Like
when
they
we drank the best booze.
they
Yes.
literally know how to throw a party. So
Homes.com is giving them a run for their money, but
yeah, and I'm
It's not the
curious
same.
to see, obviously our industry is drastically changing
It's
by
it's
the
crazy.
minute.
I know.
It's extremely upsetting.
I know.
Because everything that they do in Chicago at the headquarters, trickles down to us and is
Mm-hmm.
a reflection of us. And I think there's been a lot of just turmoil.
I know.
Turmoil and turnover.
Yes.
I know for me, like with the Tracy Casper
Oh, so sad
resigning,
about that. I'm
she
disappointed.
I remember seeing her maybe it was like 5 years ago at NAR, and she spoke at one of these like broker roundtables. I was so captivated by
Yeah.
how she spoke.
She has a presence about her. yeah.
She like public speaking is scary, and I think when you become like a president for association, I mean that's
You
like
get more comfortable.
you get more comfortable, but it's scary.
Yes.
So every time I go to conferences or I watch people speak, like I pay attention to
yeah.
the details because it's not easy to stand up there and just speak in front of people.
No.
Like there's an art to it, and Tracy Casper really captivated me.
Well,
that
she makes you
time.
feel warm and
Yeah.
like a part of her.
And she doesn't
like
have
she's
to.
talking to
She
you
could just
and
talk.
She's not reading the teleprompter.
She doesn't read. She
Yeah.
just
And if
talks.
she is, she's really good at like
I know.
not letting you know.
No, so at the NAR,
I
like
watched her the
I
whole
watched
time.
the
Yes.
teleprompter, and I'm like, oh, I try to like figure out how people are doing things because it is such an art, this public speaking. But I was when I saw that, I was
I know.
so bummed.
So Tracy Casper, she was the president-elect
Yeah, for Kenny
for
Parcell.
Kenny Parcell. She stepped in a very difficult time. Kenny had to step down. There was some misconduct. I don't even know what I can say or not say without getting.
I
an
know we don't
NDA
want
or
to. We don't
something.
want NAR coming here.
Yeah. So anyway, he stepped down. She stepped in her term early. She had a really tough few months, I think. I mean, the hardest.
I mean, we even
went
saw
through
her. We're
lawsuits,
like,
went
we
through
wish you the best.
Yeah,
Remember, we
yes,
saw her
here
at the
in Orange
stage
Beach,
installation.
Alabama's installation, yeah.
And she was there. She spoke, and we're like, we're really thinking about
We're in
you. You
your
have
corner.
a really hard
Yeah.
year.
And she took charge during the last conference we had in California, and then she recently just had to resign because we don't really know why. Something happened. Somebody blackmail or
Blackmailing.
something, and we don't know. And the thing is, I'm sure it's a tough position to be in for her.
Yes.
I'm like, we all have a past. We all have
All of us.
skeletons of the closet. We've
All
all
of
got
us.
something, and it's
All of
kind of
us.
like, at what point do you stop being bullied by others, or like, basically dictated by someone else, and just be like,
course.
look, I had a lapse in judgment. I made a bad choice. I made a bad mistake because I'm human.
Yep.
But I think we can work through this and keep going and push through it. So
Absolutely.
it must have been something really bad that she didn't feel like she could do that. You know?
Exactly. And I think, I was reading everything that she was commenting on, and she was like, she wants to put the membership first. I think if we didn't come off of this Kenny Parcell issue,
It'd have been
and
different.
we were under such a microscope with all these lawsuits, and we have all this negative light around us right now. And I think this was the worst timing for her. And she knew that since NAR is under the public eye right
She's
now,
got to step out.
it wasn't going to help the situation.
know.
And it's so unfortunate because she seemed to be like she was going to be a great leader. But we also don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
And we just see what's put out, and
Exactly. Like when it comes to like leaders and power and egos, there's like this whole other side to this world of being on a board or behind, running there's just always something behind.
I know. But I do feel like, and I have to be careful what I say because I am a national director on the board of
Yes,
directors.
you are. Yes, he is.
But I just want to say that,
We'll
like,
see.
I feel like when you get to the level that NAR is, we're the largest trade organization in the world.
Yes.
We have like the number one lobbyist. Like,
Yep.
it's a powerful organization.
Absolutely.
1.7 million members strong, And I feel like sometimes when you get to that point, maybe there's a level of complacency.
Yep.
And like look at us, we're tough stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, but that's
I know, and I think that is
never.
the pitfall: is that when you get too comfortable and you get too cocky and you get too arrogant, the pride always comes before the fall.
100.
You know what I'm saying?
It literally is like history repeats itself.
I know, and it's kind of like, for me, I'm on the board, and we get like information, but it's not all the information because that goes through the executive level.
Of course.
But obviously, we're not doing something right.
Obviously.
There needs to be some massive change, and I know they're making changes, but like coming up with a new,
I think I think where we went wrong, and I've said this from the beginning, back in the day where we all shot ourselves in the foot, and you just wish when you had people, in power and in place at NAR, they would have, not going to knock it, but they should have known better. Once we started giving our data and started syndicating to all these other companies like a Zillow, like a Homes.com, and we started giving our information and data out to them, that's where this all started to go
it
wrong.
depletes your value.
We didn't hold on to the
professional,
valuable
and,
information and data, and I think that's where we went wrong. I mean, You just think.
There's so many. I know. And you
there's so
can't-
many
you can't
things to
change it.
say. Like,
Yeah.
you know, maybe people at NAR didn't want to do that, and then someone got paid on the. There's like.
There's always
There's a million different
stories to
things,
every-
but I think it comes down to power, money, greed, ego. Once you start, you know, going into those
And
areas,
you can't sweep things under the rug.
no, it's especially
You
in real
have to
estate.
address it head on.
Yes.
And the more that you cover things up or don't, the more it's going to come to light and
Absolutely.
become even more pie in the face. You know?
Absolutely.
So,
No, it's very unfortunate. So now we
oh,
have.
I hate it. I know.
Now
I
we have
really
our
like
third
Trump.
president
Our third president
in a
this
year.
I know.
All right, so I think that was great for our first podcast. Mission complete.
Yes,
We've
it
been-
will get better. I think the first step was actually just
To get it done,
Let's
see
get
how
it.
we vibe in this setting. 'Cause
Yeah.
we know we vibe outside.
I think we could have gone another hour. I mean, honestly,
I could have
I
kept
got
talking.
more content. You know.
So we just want to bring you real life, the ins, the outs. You know, real estate's not as glamorous as you see on social media. And I think
Right. Mm-hmm.
we're just going to bring realness to the industry that there really is no realness to it. Everyone has a facade.
Yeah.
We drive these expensive cars. We have all this Gucci.
Which we do. We have all of it. We like nice things. We work hard. We play hard. Right.
Yes, but there is a downside, and we want
That's
to
right.
shed some light on.
Yeah.
You're not alone. We all go through it.
Mhm.
And we're going to bring some of our reality experiences to you. So we'll see you again next week. Thank you for staying tuned.
Yeah. And sticking with us in our crazy thought process here.
Bye.